You're live.
Hi.
Ladies and gentlemen, show number 1048.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
We're still friends.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
These guys here got some brilliance on stage with us tonight. TC, this beautiful backdrop, live in the Santa's boardroom.
They're going to upstage us with their brilliance.
And TC, this is Toby Corey.
You did it. Nice.
Toby Tory, whatever is easier to pronounce.
Latory. Oh, that's LeBaron. Myers is here.
Welcome.
Hello?
Welcome, guys.
You know, I have no idea what she's been. I've had a show with her before. I'm doing a show with her tonight. I have no idea what she does. Not a clue.
We just talked for about 30 minutes. I have no clue.
No clue.
Yeah.
Not a clue. She did sit somewhere for 10 days and didn't look at anybody for a while or speak to anybody.
That's interesting. I want to talk about that.
That's true.
Toby's been on the show four. Yeah,
too many to count.
Multiple times. Welcome back. It's great to have you back.
It's great to be here.
The point is, that tonight's show, we have no idea what we're going to talk about. But if you listen, by the time the show ends, you're going to learn a lot more than when you started.
That's always true.
It's a big problem.
So stay tuned.
Well, we're live. And if you guys, if anyone, as we talk tonight, because I am behind the camera looking at people, you can message and
Yes, you
discuss
can message.
and,
We're not talking
and
about
contribute.
We're not talking about my feet. We are going to talk about
Well, why you mean your size 15 feet?
we're going to talk about the fantasy chocolate now at Marianne's Ice Cream. Oh my freaking god!
You don't like it?
Oh, it's orgasmic.
Wow.
Okay, hey, you want to start us off? What do?
You're going to start with what I do?
Yeah, we want to know. Hillary's watching.
Hillary!
Chestnut's watching.
Angela!
They're tuning in like crazy right now. The
you got
thumbs ups are crazy.
Everybody's watching.
You got the IUD story.
Everybody.
Wow. We've already descended there.
I know, that didn't take long.
Tell us a little bit about you. We know all about, well, a little bit about him, but what's your scoop?
All about me?
Yeah.
I mean, all about me. What's my scoop? Why am I here? Like, how did I get to stand in the middle?
Right there, yeah, right there. Yeah.
Well, how I came to this show.
Okay.
Do we start there?
Yeah.
And how is that? How did we meet? Through?
I don't know.
Jay Nichols.
Oh, Jay Nichols.
Blue
Yeah,
Mind.
That's
Blue
right.
Marble.
Jay Nichols, Blue Mind. The paddle out.
Which is also how you
How
and I
we
met,
met, yeah.
ironically. Yes.
Deep
That was a
connection.
very odd day.
It was a beautiful day, but it's an odd
Yeah, it
thing
was.
to digest.
Because
But that's how we met.
yeah,
That's
we were
how we met.
We were floating on the water that he should have been in.
Yes.
That didn't come about. So
For those that
I
don't
got the
know
first
Jay,
blue marble. That's
Yeah.
how we met.
there's a book called Jay Nichols wrote The Blue Mind. Epic book. Unbelievable person. Unfortunately, we had his memorial service this summer. LeBaron's the connector there. So I met LeBaron. I'd already purchased the book and I was raving about it and this marble. And LeBaron's like, oh, by the way, I got the first marble and I got it back. So that's.
did you take the first? Did you nick it from her?
No. he
Are
didn't.
we talking about the actual first marble?
The actual first blue marble.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was 2008, and Jay Nichols and I used to meet at a coffee shop downtown, Lulu's, where it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Before
And
the earthquake.
We both were, before, not that
the
far
earthquake,
back.
yeah.
And he said to me, I mean, he was telling me all about what he was doing. We were both like working on different things that just became our office. And he said to me one day, he pulled out the marble and he said, if you look at Earth from far away, this is what it looks like. And he's like, I have this thought, like a blue marble. We just pass along to people who are doing something good for the Earth to remind them why we're here. And so he said, what do you think of that? We started to talk about it. So he gave me the first blue marble. And then it went on to like the Dalai Lama.
I think he had one of those
and,
baseball
Wow.
things, the baseball, the has balls in it.
Yeah.
You know, I think he just pulled out.
Throw them out. Yeah.
They're amazing. He was amazing.
We're talking about you though. We don't know what you do.
Well, I'm just saying that's how.
Okay. Oh, you-
That's how we all
That's
met.
how we all
Okay.
Was
met.
through,
Got it.
and that's interesting because I think he had a way of doing that. Jay did, of getting people to talk about the ocean and the mother ocean, and his talks
He
were
had
amazing.
a way of getting people to talk at a different level. He had a way of like getting into a depth of conversation that was very cool.
If you don't mind, remember we were talking about advocacy across the street?
Yes.
I think what this is. This.
It's the perfect time.
Yes, because you're here and the microphone's right there. And let's go. And he won't mind because he'll come on in a minute and go poof.
I don't know.
He's over here first gear in park.
Okay.
The handbrake's
we
on.
unleash.
Handbrake's
we
on.
unleash Toby.
He's
But once you unleash Toby, there's no
You can't
there's
get
no
the
breaks.
genie. You can't get the genie back in the
You
bottle.
know that is so
right?
true.
He's got the handbrake. He's got the handbrake. Yeah.
Well, with that intro, LeBaron still hasn't told us what you did, but I'm going to park that side. So I'm going to start with a little joke for an icebreaker, which goes to your audience here. So this guy goes into this store. They just sell bees. And he basically goes like, I got a dozen bees. And the beekeeper gives him and he pays him. And he goes home. And he counts them. He's like, oh my God, I got 13 bees. I got to bring one of these back because like I'm a really good guy. So he puts one back in the bag, goes back, gives it to the beekeeper and says, hey, sir, I'm really sorry, but you gave me an extra bee. And the beekeeper, being super soulful in a day when, things are really tough, he said, don't worry about it. That's a freebie. Like this show. It's a freebie show.
The freebie.
Wow, that's a freebie.
That's a freebie. Well done. Well done.
You're not getting out of like a little intro on yourself.
Yes.
Oh, no, I have no problem giving it.
All right,
Okay. I was just saying how I know you two. And I didn't realize actually till this moment that we met through the same, which is Jay, which is cool. And that's an intro on myself. So I moved to Santa Cruz about 9 years ago. Prior to that, I worked in various things, and I grew up all over the country, and then I ended up working
What things? Specific?
of what I worked in.
Yeah.
I started in investment management, and I did that for about 7 or 8 years
Okay.
in like big corporate world, and then
Yeah.
stepped away and did a very interesting trip, kind of like internally, but through Bali and India and Thailand, and where I did that meditation retreat and all those things. Came back and got into startup world, digital media, tech, different things. So once you get into the startup world, it's really hard to pull yourself out.
How do you get into the startup world? You walk up to people, are you starting something up? Are you starting something up?
The CEO
always
had been a
starting
friend of
something.
mine since there's always somebody working on something, but the
Okay.
CEO had been a friend of mine since college.
Okay.
And I thought I would just dabble, but once you dabble in startup world, you get like hooked in startup world because you're not just a cog in the wheel. Like everything you do has impact.
Yeah.
And so then you start getting. So I was in the startup world for a bit, and then I worked at a couple of things, and I started doing my own consultancy for like business development because that's what I always did: business development and strategic partnerships. And then I started doing executive coaching because I've never. This isn't going to sound good, but it's true. I've never cared deeply about the products that I'm selling unless and until where they affect people. So I love the intersection of like what moves people. So I started doing executive coaching. So I really work at the intersection of like executive coaching and business development. And one of my recent clients on business development, I stepped in and became the head of Bandit Systems, which is very cool, disrupting commercial security.
Oh yeah, I remember we talked security. I was like, something he would like to hear.
Commercial security?
Bandit security, yeah.
Why is he having issues here? It's super bright. I mean, it's super bright. The guy who came, it's just, you're taking an industry that's been going on forever. You're saving money, you're doing it better, you have eyes everywhere, using security cameras, radars, and then the human element. You use AI technology, and then the human element comes in and says, hey, buddy in the black shirt and the cool shoes, Toby Corey always has cool shoes on, you shouldn't be here tonight. And we do it within like 7 seconds. So
Wow.
we're preventing issues.
Sounds interesting.
So
Bandit
that's
technology?
Bandit Systems,
Systems.
headquartered
Okay.
in Santa Cruz.
Great.
But all over California. So that's what I'm doing now, but I'm also many other things than what I do.
As a coach,
Yes.
have you coached him?
I'm uncoachable.
Uncoachable.
We had a session at your house.
Oh, we see.
Remember that?
How'd that go?
We had a lot of sessions. Good.
We had a lot of sessions. And what's very cool about Toby Corey is he's been incredibly successful in like a lot of different things. Always still curious and always still looking for feedback. Like, and he's like, give it to me straight. He'd be working on something new when you were doing this entrepreneur at UCS, and he's like, come give it to me straight. So he's like, seeks that. We talk about it. But he's people who are curious are people who are coachable. You're not uncoachable.
I don't know.
But you're not looking for coaching. You're just looking for like.
I'm always looking for something. And
for three
like,
to 4 foot.
the number one ingredient, if you really want to live, like in my opinion, like a fulfilling life, despite all the ups and downs and all the curveballs that throw your way, if you just have a modicum of intellectual curiosity, it's amazing how your mind changes, the current job that you have, your current situation, and figuring out like it's the currency. Like imagination is the currency of the 21st century. So,
Can you pull that thing in a bit?
He's an amazing coach. amazing
yeah.
mentor on so many different levels. I still I admire her very amazing public speaking skills. I'll never be as good as her because I don't like to be I'm not as polished, let's just put it that way, but I'm authentic. But
I think authentic is way better than polished. So I
you're
completely
both.
call
It's great
kibosh
to be
on
both
that.
though, right? You're both authentic and
It's
polished,
most
right?
fun when you're both.
That's true.
And we talked a little bit about this before we came on, which is like the venues in which you can be your most authentic self. And the layers that we all have. Like the people that when we're with, we're like really who we are. And then other times, there's different layers.
Depends which one you want to give out.
Depends which one you want to get out.
This one, the real one, or the so-so, maybe, possibly, could be.
Yeah, but I think that's honestly as we kind of get into whatever we're going to talk about tonight, but authenticity is honestly a really good starting point because we live in a very busy, noisy, kind of chaotic time, right? Our political discourse is where it is. Unemployment, not a lot of jobs being added. The government is shut down. Yeah, so, and then the girl's okay, who do I got to be? How do I get to be that person? And well, you end up sort of finding out, despite I need to fit in with this group or that group or position myself for this job or that job, ultimately what ends up sort of when you boil it all down, authenticity is where it's all at. And it's a hard thing to do because I should be this, I should be an AI person, I should know all this stuff. And Oscar Wilde said it best, right? Basically, you might as well be yourself because
everyone else is taken. Correct.
And it's to have that courage and conviction to sort of go down that path is really hard. I've had actually more failures than successes. Look at my LinkedIn; it looks awesome.
But you learn from your failures, though.
Way more, yeah. And I use the word failure, but it's learning. But yeah, of course, there's things I would do differently. But if you haven't watched Wild Wild Country with Osho on Netflix, you should watch that. But he was a prolific mystic Indian guru. And he would never write. Basically, his followers would transcribe his stuff. And one book that he has out there is called Fear. And I was going through a difficult time almost 10 years ago. And my daughter bought me this book, Fear. And ultimately, he spent a lot of time with people on their deathbed, in the last throes. And as did Ram Dass, as did other amazing individuals. And the net takeaway for me was they were suffering because they had so much regret. And I hate the word regret because it means I regret doing that. If you can live your life without regret, it doesn't mean I've made a ton of mistakes.
That's the only way you can live.
I still will, but if I were to literally kick it after this show, what an amazing life, right? And I don't want to be at that point in my life should have did that, should have did that. It's you only have one life. The one thing you can count on is time is fixed. There's a beginning and a middle and an end, right? Mm-hmm. And it's different for different people, but that piece of the peace of mind of authenticity, you were at a point in your life where you just packed it up and went to India. Yeah. What drove that? And what did you learn and what did you come back with?
Well, it's funny when you said that book that talked about fear, talked about people at the end of their life. There's something in grief that you can't quite simulate anywhere else. There's something in grief that takes you to the depths of authenticity, whether you like it or not. Mm-hmm. And so when you ask what brought me to India, for me, when I was 24, my parents split. And I can talk about that now, but I couldn't even talk about it. It shattered me in a way. And I couldn't release it here. Because anytime I felt it coming up, I was so worried about someone else looking at me and worrying about me that I didn't. So I felt like I had to go that far. Right. So I was looking I wanted to learn more about Buddhism. I ended up learning a ton about Hinduism in India, but then I went to Dharamsala right before the Olympics in China, and the Dalai Lama was leading these candlelit vigils to his house, listening to the Dalai Lama and listening and learning all these things. And so I started to go into the kind of the depths of meditation and different things, and it wasn't until I was away from any human that knew me, no one knew who I was, that I was sitting in a meditation hall where these feelings came up. Out of instinct, what we typically do is let me put that down because I can't let anybody see me like that. But nobody there knew who I was. Right. And for the first time, I just let it go. And I cried myself to sleep in a way that I didn't even know. It was hours and everything. And I woke up the next day 10 pounds lighter. and have never felt the weight the same way. So for me, it was this like, I thought I was going to like learn Buddhism, do these other things, but what I really was needing was like distance from having anyone else see me let go of what I needed to let go of.
Yeah.
You want to be alone by yourself.
I didn't realize that, but it was like, yeah, I needed to, because you care so much about the people closest to you, and you don't want them to worry about you. So the majority of the time, we don't even realize unconsciously, we're like holding it together because people we love, we don't want them to worry about us. We don't want to burden. We don't want to, and to like let it just whoo.
Right.
So there was things I did there, different classes, different meditations, different things that like I probably wouldn't have done here. Even during COVID, breath work, we talked about breath work.
Yeah.
I found breath work during COVID only because everyone had to be at their homes on their own computers, and I could turn off the video and the audio, and just, I was like, what was happening to me was crazy. I would have never done that in a yoga studio with someone sitting next to
Well,
me.
if there wasn't COVID,
And it goes,
you wouldn't have done it.
there's something to that, right? Like I felt this connectedness, but also this anonymity, which is hard, especially in like small town. Like I love it here, but there's times when you're having like a hard day or whatever. It's hard to go out because people are going to see you and they expect something of you, and the depths of things are like, that's where the authenticity lies.
Well, I think too, like, there's, as I said, we talked about a lot of change and a lot of chaos and a lot of uncertainty, which creates a lot of stress. And I think what exacerbates that problem is when you try to be somebody that you're not, right? And I think like just understanding that, you know, I'm actually working with a company right now. Have gotten themselves kind of insolvent. They're a good company. They actually have a good product and good customers. And the CEO made some bad decisions and ultimately like super stressed out. And I'm like, look, first you've got to like face where you are, have that communication with your company, and make the changes that you have to make. It sounds easy and it sounds simple, but what I have found is that true character only emerges in a difficult time. And many will fold under that pressure, blame other people, pretend the problem doesn't exist. And going back to that Osho story I told, like, we're all going to be on our deathbed someday. It could be sudden, it could be long term. Do you want to look back and go, fuck, like, I should have did this, I should have done that? And you have the time right now to make that whatever change that you want to make right now, despite all of the like really deep challenges that we have. And I think that's a really good sort of message and something I'd like this audience to sort of think about. This show's super cool. It's all over the map. This is our first show together. But you really embody that. Like you've had that time to go to India and study Eastern religion philosophy. And I think you live that in your life.
Yeah.
I try, but it ebbs and flows. And as you know, having kids, nothing will humble you in terms of how evolved you think you are, and having kids.
We talk about politicians. Who want to be a politician nowadays? You couldn't get rid of all the shit that's going on inside you. Look at Jimmy Panetta. We love Jimmy. He comes on the show. He's great. But imagine the pressure and how much he's stuffing inside to survive.
Yeah,
I couldn't understand it.
Well, the problem that you have is like if you really look back on humanity, especially where we are today, there literally are a few thousand people that drive the entire agenda in life for, what are we at, 9 billion people almost right now, 8.5 billion people. You have this pyramid structure, like these institutions that are corrupt, that are completely should be exhausted and let go. And we follow that path because like all that wealth just matriculates to the top, right? That's why I taught at Stanford for 11 years. Like I believe, imagination and creativity is the currency of the 21st century, and which is like the only way you're going to change anything is from the bottom up. Nothing ever changes from the top down because they have these monopolies, they're printing money, all that wealth gets aggregated, and we have such a disparity right now of the haves and the have-nots, and that's what ends up causing chaos. And the opportunity is like, well, I can either play that or get myself together. That's why I love entrepreneurship. In today's day and age, with this massive revolution around AI and the tools that are around it, you can build something on your own without needing a software engineer. Like I've never seen a more heightened time for empowerment right now. is to try new things. So having to have a ton of money, get a venture capitalist, and all of that.
Which is critical. At a time, this is where it's cool, right? At a time where, and many people would say, at least in my lifetime, like we are seeing things we've never seen before, right? So the bigger the challenge, and yet the bigger the opportunity, and the empowerment piece is critical. When you talk about Pineda, like, I think it'd be so hard to be in politics right now, but at least you would feel like you are doing something. I think the bigger challenge, the two, I think most challenging things, there's a lot that could be on that list, but I think one is people feeling like they can't make an impact, and then just sitting and doing nothing. Like that is literally like the definition of depression. Like when you feel like nothing, there's no hope that's going to change, and there's nothing you can do. So if you are in politics or in whatever, your small community, to your point, like I think some of the community stuff is going to really come alive. But the fact that at the same time, things that used to be owned only by one person, like you look at media, all the big media companies are owned by a very small group of people.
Yep.
But now anybody can start a podcast, and
Yep.
people are growing their followings. And anybody can start, and we can build a company, like entrepreneurs, like all those type of things. Last night, UCSC, big genomics event, Santa Cruz Works, rooftop downtown. And people left there inspired. And they were like, all day long I hear the news of what's happening today. Then I show up and I see what these people are doing. Because what happens, I think it's very human, is like you see something that feels too big for you in your lifetime and you're like, what can I do? But the non-doing is the biggest problem. Even if it's little.
Yeah, it's just something.
There's something.
But that's where the magic comes from. That's
Yes.
where revolutions and all of the magic of humanity starts. Like we're great at three things as a species. Number one, nobody can create like we can create. Even though we overlap like 98.7% with a chimpanzee, look at what we're capable of versus a chimp that can maybe get ants with a stick out of a log, right? And two, like we're really good at consuming things
Too good.
and making other kids, right? And so at some point in time, I do think that the dynamic is going to change. And it has to start with these events like at Santa Cruz Works and from the bottom up with a new set of leaders that are thinking differently and realize like you could have both sides of the coin. You can actually walk and chew gum, right? You can be a good steward of the planet. You can be good to people. You can have empathy. We can have like good financial discipline. But like if you ask me right now, like would you rather have a root canal every day or be a politician? I hate root canals. I'll fucking take the root canal. Not even close.
Yeah.
So
Talk about the advocacy when I got you here.
One of the things I think is really unique about Santa Cruz. So I grew up all over the country. I was in 9 schools from kindergarten through 12th grade. My father coached college and professional football, which is super fun when you're winning and super sucks when you're not.
Yeah.
But it was I got to live in a lot of different places. That was as a kid. When I got older and I got into different things, I lived in major cities, and all different cities have different things, right? Like literally down to the different drills. If you're in the Midwest, you have tornado drills. If you come out here, you have earthquake drills. Like every part has a different. California, to me, is really interesting. Big state, and people who aren't from this country sometimes will be like, oh, I'm going to be in LA. Is that near you? And I'm like, no, that's like another country, right? And why? I mean, I went to UCLA. I have friends in LA, but there is a difference. In LA, there is this like self-promoting, abs in the mirror, whatever. You come up to Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is very unique. It's very, very unique. I will tell you, you walk down the street, you can't tell if somebody has $10 or $10 million. It is not... People are not gaudy with all of their things. But the virtuous mean is something that I think about all the time. Like anything in excess, problem, anything in deficiency. LA, I would say excess. Super self-promoting. We're this, we're that. But Santa Cruz, to me, suffers from a little bit of deficiency when it comes to promoting what's happening here because we don't like that feeling of promoting. And so I distinguish between promotion and advocacy. So we don't need to be self-promoting, but we need to be advocating for what's happening here because there is something unique about Santa Cruz. Like people, I don't know a single person that doesn't have a cause that they donate to, that they're deeply interested in. It is not just all about money. There are amazing things happening in a stealth capacity. There's like a lot of humility, but there's fascinating things happening at UCSC. There's amazing things happening in tech. Joby Aviation is going to like change how we live. And it started stealth right here, and some people still don't even know what the heck it is.
Yeah.
So us telling the stories of what's happening here is not self-promoting, like, look at me. It's self-advocacy because the stuff we're doing here could benefit way beyond here. And we're not telling that story as well as we could. And I think we need to.
And you need a team. You need a team of people.
Yes.
You can't do it by yourself.
No.
We
And-
can't do it. We try.
We give it a try every once a week. But yeah,
LeBaron, it just sounds like you just built your show for the 831. When are we launching it?
When's the launch?
it's already going up and going.
Oh.
I'm gonna
late.
I'm gonna take that little clip and put it out there.
Okay.
Well, the whole show going there. It's good.
I like the whole thing though, because Santa Cruz is so unique, and
It's
and the
really
whole
unique.
world is drawn to it. Whether it's whatever they're, if there's never a negative word about it. You tell someone from anywhere around the world you're from Santa Cruz, and they take you in almost, because it's like they dream of coming here.
Right.
And I don't know of very many places like that, like the North Shore of
I've
Hawaii.
probably
or
gotten
somewhere.
20. I would say 20%, maybe 15-20% of our guests in the lineup. Hey, Neil. Hey,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a so and so. Holy shit! Come this way. Come to the boardroom.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
and those
you know,
people don't
but-
stand out, like you say. It's like you walk by someone on a sidewalk and you don't know who they are.
They don't- they're not-
Example. He was
yeah.
here not long ago. Don Bostic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don Bostic. We used to surf at Capitol only. He had 2 dogs. Walked dog before he surfed. He was called 2 Dog Don. Don never hardly said a word.
Yeah.
Sitting in the lineup one day, it was bad. I'm looking at Don. Don's looking at me. I'm looking at Don. Nothing's happening. No conversation. Nothing. And I go, hey, Neil, Don. So I'm getting around to it. I go, what do you do? He goes, I do some stuff with skateboarding. Oh, really great. I have a show of skateboarding. Would you come on the show? No.
Yeah.
Because he didn't say 2 words. Eventually, it all came out where tell him about Don.
Well, Don kind of invented Northern California competitive skateboarding. He is in the Hall of Fame of
Yeah.
skateboarding.
And
He
did the
pretty
X
much
Games.
invented a lot of the snowboarding culture that we have.
Wow.
And here's the X Games.
He organized the X Games.
Yeah.
He built all the ramps for the X Games, ran the contest. He ran the World Cup of skateboarding. He's a legend
In the
in
lineup
skateboarding.
at Capitola, the 2 Dog Don.
Love it.
That's what I mean, though.
Yeah.
Even when you started
Right.
the show and you're like, LeBaron, what do you do? That felt weird. In Santa Cruz, people don't start conversations that way. They don't say, hey, what do you do?
I do.
They don't care much. Maybe that's why it was awkward. Because I'm like,
You
oh.
know what?
Because
Are you
here
not-
it's typically like, hey, what's up? And you get into all these other things. And what you do is a component of that. But people aren't like, and there are other places where people don't have a conversation without doing that. Here's what I do. Here's my card. It's like, I didn't even ask you for your card. You just hand me your card, right? Like, it's just different. And it's part of the charm. It's part
Well,
of the
I
charm.
think, like, look, there's a lot, I don't know, what are we, 60,000 people in Santa Cruz County right now. The fabric of Santa Cruz is unmatched anywhere on this planet. Going back to the Awaswas indigenous tribe, and then the first beach boardwalk, and before that, the 3 Hawaiian princes that came here. And you just think about, like, the massive counterculture feel and that authenticity
Yeah.
where I don't have to be in Silicon Valley, get myself prepped for a big VC meeting or a big board meeting or file my IPO or all of that. It's like everyone kind of come down here, get in a cool sweatshirt, come down to the boardroom. But like, there's no other place in the world that, and especially for those that are deeply connected to water and the ocean and the vibration of that, the walks, the hiking, and
The
just
redwoods.
the first university founded on environmental studies. And there's like so many firsts and just so much innovation here. It's a magical place.
The nature. To
we
be
said-
around the nature.
We said, I think at the beginning of doing the show, we did the show at KSCO, and I went to convince them to do the show because they didn't want to do a show because it was sports. They don't do sports. But I convinced them into doing it. I said, listen, from where KSCO is, that right down there, and you take a quarter-mile radius, take a quarter-mile radius. From that, we would have enough guests for 3 years.
Oh, at least.
Right. That's just. I'm not even talking about coming up here. Just right there, the quarter mile.
Because we came into it as a surf and skate thing, and I always had this quote: "In Santa Cruz, you're born with a skateboard under one arm and a surfboard under the other." You know.
Well, and speaking of icons, surfing is really a very spiritual thing for a lot of people. You're out in this media called water. There's this energy flowing through it. It flows through your soul. Your iPhone's not out there. Your laptop's not out there. It's just insanely magical. And like, look what Jack O'Neill has done, right? Like, literally, people would never go out. Like, I don't surf in Santa Cruz on a wetsuit all year round. And like got more people in the water. People like Jay Nichols with Blue Mind, more people in the water understanding like why it connects with you. And it makes people better human beings at the end of the day.
Well, I find something that's happening right now really interesting when it comes to people are actually paying more money to get back to basics. If you look at things, like if you were to look at like various schools and beyond public schools where there's private and there's this and there's this, the most expensive school that I've seen, I'm not going to name the schools, but the most expensive school that I've seen here, second most expensive. I went and I loved it. Why did I love it? It was like all outdoors. It was all back to nature. It was all this, and it was one of the most expensive because everything else is like building up and up. And to me, this is this dichotomy of Santa Cruz too that happened during COVID, right? Was that like, oh, I can build my brilliant thing, like you said, and not be in Silicon Valley, and I can do it over here. And you see people here who outright value getting outdoors, like being in the water, they don't hide it. Whereas some cities, and I've worked in San Francisco, I've worked in New York, where people would like keep it on the down low that like, I got to get out and get my workout in. I got to, but here it's like, oh, you need to go out, you need to go for a hike. You need to go, like it's promoted by leaders because they know that that's where the creativity is coming from. That's where the ideas are coming from. It is not just this like, I don't want to be in the office. It's like, no, this is where the brilliance is coming from, is through nature. And so it's ironic to me that like regenerative is coming up more and more, and that whole term and regenerative business, and all it's about is getting back to basics, getting back to nature. You were saying that we're the most amazing beings, and in some ways we are, but actually you just sit and watch nature, and I'm like, oh, it's all figured out. It's all figured out, but we're trying to manufacture all the other stuff.
Well, I'll do a plug for Santa Cruz Works, and if you like, we have challenges here. Like, I think it's the most expensive rental city
The single
in the
most
United
in the
States.
country.
And then you layer on like inflation is real. It is real, right? The cost to get a breakfast or a burrito at your everyday groceries, it's making it really challenging. And the call is like the way out of this is for great ideas, new businesses, new ventures, create great opportunities that can pay well, and everyone wins from that. So it's tough. Like a lot of startups fail, but hey man, Doug Erickson, keep doing what you're doing.
You mentioned earlier having across the street about the thing that took 3 years. They got it down. Was it 30?
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. So basically, obviously the whole buzz around AI, it's like, oh, it's this and that, pluses and minuses, right? How much electricity is it going to use, right? So like, we're really smart species. We're going to figure everything out. Here's how this problem gets figured out. I just read an article. Google's working on quantum computing. And I won't get into the technical details of what it is. It's just like pretty crazy. Anyway, they simulated a quantum computing algorithm that took them 3 minutes to process. On a regular GPU, NVIDIA infrastructure, it's 3 years. So yes, there's electrical issues that we have to deal with, but by and large, like, that's going to get solved.
Yeah.
And I think like if you look at sort of the arc of humanity, I think what makes life feel more like it's moving too fast or it's more chaotic is that we are becoming more and more productive and expected to do more and more to feed into this capitalist system. The smart people see AI as an opportunity, a new tool, something I should learn. And I'll just give you like one small example. My daughter lives up in Bonnie Doon, got a tankless water system up there. They installed it. It doesn't work for shit. And basically, they were going to put a new burner in. The one they have is plenty for that house. And I went up there, and basically they're like, we'll put the new one in, but your gas line's only 1/2 inch, your propane tank, it needs to be 3/4 inch. So I went up there with ChatGPT, took a picture of the system, said, is this enough power to power this 2-bedroom house? More than enough, right? So it's not the unit itself. Took a picture of the tank, the regulator, and the line. And they asked, ChatGPT said, what's the span from the regulator to the tankless system? Like 50 feet. And it's like, you don't have enough fuel getting to power that system. It has nothing to do with the size. That system is plenty big, right? So you literally get like plumber expertise. And me said, run a 1-inch line, and then 1 inch to 3 inch coupler to that, because what's happening is that the burner can run at 150,000 BTUs. But with 1/2 inch gas at that span with that regulator, it can run at maybe 60,000 BTUs. So it's only getting a third of it. Like, I'm not a plumber. And like, turns out she had a plumber up there, and it's like, yeah, your dad and ChatGPT were right. But just think of that, and I fixed my ozonator on my hot tub, and it's like, it's just an insanely great tool. It's like why people don't do long division anymore, and they'll pull up their calculator on their iPhone, right? And there's some up and downside. I'm not saying that there isn't.
Yeah,
There's lots of things to think about, but the smart people are like, hey, this is a great tool. How do I use this to my advantage? Can I start a new company? Can I be better at my job right now? Or, do the things that I love better with this tool?
Yes, and. Yes, and.
That's another show.
That's another show.
Maybe that's the title of the show.
Yes, and.
Give us a little bit of the end.
Yeah, look, it's exciting, but the reality is powerful tools, when they're this powerful, we have to look at who has power and who has money and what they're going to do with that. So, yeah, when you talk about it, I'm not worried about what Toby Corey's going to do with AI, right? Like, that's exciting. That's all exciting. But like anything, and different stages of life, right? I mean, look at people coming out of school who are like, holy shit, I just spent all these years studying something and I can't get a job because it's, so there's definitely, but I'm never going to be one to be like, naysay AI, because that's a wave that's coming, and it's doing amazing things and doing amazing things in health and everything else, but it is highlighting also that regardless of how fast the technology is, which if you look at the chart goes like this, the human, like you said to start, in intellectual curiosity, and I'm with you, I love intellectual curiosity, but I would say emotional, spiritual curiosity, which is going way slower in terms of there's that big gap. The intellectual curiosity that is happening because of technology, the human capacity of connection, to me, is the biggest thing we need to work on. Like connection to self. People are like, everything's external, connection to each other, connection. Some people are saying that the next thing is going to be people going to clubs and things where you have to put your phone away and you have to look people in the eye. You have to be able to have conversations. Like, that's sometimes a rarity now. Even though we talk about how much we love Santa Cruz, and I do, but it's not small town where people look me in the eye and say, how you doing? People are still in a rush. People still often, since COVID, don't do that. Like, we hit the human connectivity side is the most exciting.
I would add just two things to that comment. One, you're absolutely right. However, this wave is a tsunami, and either figure out how to ride the wave or you're going to get throttled by it, right? And I remember, like, I had the audacity to start a company when the web just first got invented. We were the largest web developer in the early to mid 90s, took it public. And I remember sitting down with like CEO of Blockbuster. Hey, let's talk about your digital strategy. Man, that's a low priority, Toby. Like, are you guys worried about Netflix? No, not at all. The CEO, Lou Border's daughter. Hey, do you guys have a digital strategy? No. You guys worried about Amazon? No. So like, it's going to happen. And what it presents though, where there's challenges is opportunities, right? And it's like as simple as that. It's a change the world type of technology, and what I would say, like, hey, step up to these challenges, because they create new opportunities, right?
You got to kind of police yourself. Like, for me, a friend of mine said, "Don't take your laptop with you to New York." I'm like, "Oh,
right? You feel naked without it."
No, I got to take it. No, don't take it, because every time you're not on it, you're spending more time with your family. So don't take the damn thing. You don't need it. I'm like, well, yeah, I do. And I ended up not taking it. And they were right. So I spent more time having a cup of coffee with the family instead of being on my computer,
But there also might be ways like where it can help. Like, maybe dating apps are tough. Maybe the connection rate is so low, and AI can be used to actually drive more human connections, drive more community,
I think
drive more interests together. Like, that's the opportunity. You can either use it for good or bad, right?
Yep.
So he started your new business and all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So would that be something that he would use?
Yeah.
I'm not just taking you as an example. It's different to a skateboard shop. So would AI help him in his new business?
Well,
I mean, it's help anybody in their
like beyond control. Like, one of the, I'll slightly obviously, I'm a restless soul. When I'm not working, I'm so bored I want to hang myself. When I am, I'm like, why am I working so hard? I've got several ideas that I'm incubating. I'm getting ready. I'm vibe coding this out of Skunkworks MVP, which stands for Minimum Viable Product. And what it basically lays out is that the website, and I said this on your last show, the website as we know it today is going to become extinct very quickly. Because just think about how the paradigm used to work. Google had a great search engine. underneath that was called search engine optimization. And they would index the entire web under 2 dimensions. So someone's asking for X, Y, or Z. It will bring up links, one of organic sites, and also paid search.
Yep.
And then you click on that blue link and go to a website. Then you've got to fuck around on that website. No one does that anymore, or very quickly. I'm in ChatGPT. Like when I went and figured out to become a plumber, I took pictures of the tank, the regulator, the span, and came back, photos, like here's the BTU, like everything that I needed, right?
Yeah.
So you are going to need a brand, you're going to need a tone, you're going to need a voice, but how a large language model like ChatGPT or Gemini, they don't crawl the web, search that, and provide links. There's a whole different technical infrastructure. Yeah. So how do you help brands instrument themselves for a new conversational paradigm? Just massive opportunities.
Mm-hmm. It's so true.
What's crazy is as far as AI goes, there was a story today that, Amazon laid off their first multiple tens of thousands of employees.
And Target.
Yeah.
Yeah, all based on the replacement with
AI. I'll just give like an e-commerce example. I went to New York a month ago, and I'm like, hey man, I'm interested in a really cool retro suit, leisure suit from the 70s. Like, what options do I have? And it literally pulled out tiles and photos and text around different products. I never went to their website, right? Oh, this looks interesting. Click on it. I'm still in ChatGPT. Gives me more content on suits, sizing, or what have you. And then the only thing when I said, I want to buy it, it then brought the URL from that page. But that's going to be they just announced that PayPal and ChatGPT now have an integration, so you're never going to have to go to that site. But like you as a brand, you have to represent yourself in a new digital world, a conversational world, and like how do you do that? So like just massive opportunities, how to solve for that.
We're in the midst right now of paying and recreating our website because it needed an overhaul so badly, and I'm hearing you, and I'm like, wait, we're in the midst of it right now.
Yeah.
We're doing
I'm
it
working
right
on MVP that.
But there won't be websites,
It's gonna,
right?
basically there's like a website. You click on it and say, what does my site look like in ChatGPT or Gemini?
Yeah.
And the problem is like the way that these large language models work, they don't scrape content from your website. They aggregate a whole bunch of data that they call this, chunk it up. They put it into a complex vector database, and then you're asking for something, and it's going to then grab whatever I have. It could be not the right information or wrong information, and then use generative AI, so it's not going to be even in your voice, right? Mm-hmm. So like you need to solve for that, but if you're going to put all this money into a website and massive photos, like no, you have to instrument differently into a conversational digital world, right? And that's the big opportunity.
Wow.
So.
It's true.
I remember a guy helped me with an article a couple of years ago, and he told me this is going to, this is ChatGPT. What? This is going to be bigger than the internet. So just hang on, because this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
He was right. I mean,
it is. It's incredible, like on so many different levels, and what it's just done for me. Like one, I just sort of like been clocking for the last year. Okay, how much time am I doing Google searches versus in ChatGPT? It's staggering how much time I don't spend on a Google search anymore. Two, the ability for me to write better, the ability for me to research, to be educated, the ability to me to figure out problems and challenges. I'll just give you one small example. My company, one of our customers was the Yankees. They had like an insanely like very complex non-disclosure agreement I had to sign. So normally I have to send that to a lawyer. Lawyers today, a good lawyer is going to charge you at least $1,700 an hour. The better ones are over $2,500 an hour. I'm pretty good about learning how to read NDAs, but like I want to make sure I'm not signing something that's going to buy my company something really bad. Fed the entire NDA. This is what I'm looking for. Like, where's the areas of exposure? These are the areas, Toby. Like, not a problem for me. And didn't have to spend $2,000 on having a lawyer. And that's just like one small example.
yeah.
It's crazy.
I had a friend that just uneducated, didn't even graduate high school, was going through a messy divorce. He couldn't afford a lawyer, so he had a chat GPT attorney that the judge congratulated him for his own case, represented himself. The judge actually congratulated him for doing a fantastic job. Wow. All chat GPT, the entire thing. Yeah.
I mean, like literally, like I have this spa. What's that spa place over on like Mission? Anyway, it's kind of where Costco area is. It's a great spa. I love the spa. It's awesome. And then my ozonator stopped working. I love an ozonator because it means I leave less chemicals.
it's
I don't need chlorine
hot,
in my pool.
with the, right there on.
Spa something or
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
Anyway, so like my ozonator stopped. I'm like, oh, this sucks. So then like went on and I said, okay, check this Venturi valve, this other check valve on it. Tried all that, and for a spa technician to come out, it's $175. Not even including just like, hey, I'll just drive into your driveway. And then did those two things, didn't work. Like, all right, need a new ozonator. But I took a picture of like my spa, took a picture of my main panel, knew exactly what I had. It said, buy this ozonator, told me how to install. I installed it myself. It worked great for a month. And all of a sudden it was sputtering. I'm like, oh, it's getting power. Went to ChatGPT again. Oh, must be this Venturi valve because sometimes it's like little particles get in there. Already knew how to do it. It took me 10 minutes, fixed it, and it's working great. I'm just saying like the power of this tool is stunning.
I wrote an article for Lookout. Here you go.
Yeah.
Took me.
My daughter.
Yeah, I like to have my own voice. I do use it help, but I do a lot of prompting on it, and I spend time. But I can definitely write something better and faster. But it's not like, oh, do X, Y, and Z and just publish that. Like I care about my voice. I care about it being authentic. But as a standpoint of a tool, right? Same thing like the fire or the wheel or the printing press.
My daughter fixed her washing machine off ChatGPT.
Yeah.
ChatGPT. Yeah. And Neil, you wrote a story and it was fantastic.
Which one?
The one that you wrote. You published a story that was
about Rob Roscoe.
Pure right off of it.
It was. I mean, I couldn't change it. It was perfect.
But they're like, look, there's lots of challenges. Like without it, I'm not saying.
It
But like
what
this
area
tsunami is already here.
Yeah.
It's already crashing on our shores.
It's going a lot faster in some areas and has a lot of.
I've never seen
more.
technology move at the clip that it's moving at and the tools have gotten so much easier. You literally can build an application without having to write a line of code yourself.
No, it is doing. I mean,
Tools like
the
Replit,
company I joined,
LangChain, Cursor.
Bandit.
the Bandits is the reason I joined. I came in. I was just going to consult, and typically, you see this really nice website. Typically, and behind the curtain, it's mess. That's usually what it is. They had this kind of dated website, which is why we're updating it. And I got behind the curtain. I'm like, wait a second. And it's taking like an age-old industry, like security, right? And instead of having one person who can only see what they can see if they're watching, if they're not watching their phone, if they happen to be on that side of the building, whatever, it's now using this software technology that recognizes breaks and patterns. So one person can look at 500 cameras because it's going to recognize a break and pattern and alert that. Now that person can come in virtually and say, hey, this is private property, you can't be here. But it's intersecting, the AI technology is good enough to a point, and then the human capacity needs to come in. It hasn't gotten to a place where, and some are doing it that way, and it's not effective because people can tell it's an AI voice, it's whatever else. So there's like an intersection of the two. But it is fascinating because it's crazy how much more efficient it is. And it's saving people money, which is like, that's the key to disruption, right? Saving money, doing a better job, saving money, and being able to do it more widely. So I'm not like, no part of me is like, oh, AI. But I always look at the human aspect of the technological advances. And it brings up a lot of challenges, but to your point, challenges are opportunities. And it's going to be interesting how we capitalize on that.
Or I guess not just don't be afraid. People were afraid of smartphones and smart TVs, but in AI, I'm sure people who aren't familiar.
Like, literally, like it is intimidating. Just literally download, sign. They're free. Gemini's free. ChatGPT's free. You don't have to pay for anything right now. I got the upgraded one. It's $20 a month. It's the best $20 I've ever spent my entire life.
Really? That big a difference?
Huge difference for me. And you're just going to experiment and learn. That's all. Like, and whatever. Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you're a painter. Maybe you're a musician. Or you're an analyst in a data analytics company. Whatever that might be. It's like when I remember downloading my first web browser. Like, what the fuck is HTML? And I remember like typing the Louvre. Like, oh my god, I'm in the Louvre. Like, this Louvre's in Paris, France, and like it just captured my imagination. And these people stole a bunch of jewelry, which is even cooler, right? But anyway.
We did.
Dive in. Like the water's nice.
Right.
You have nothing to fear but fear itself. Like,
no,
what's the worst that can happen?
There's some things to fear, but not playing with it, trying it out.
Yeah. Download it, and I guess that's if you're confused what it is, or if you're nervous, just jump in. It's like you said, it's free.
Oh yeah.
Go ask it something.
It's easier than Google.
Yeah.
Just the same way you would use Google. It's literally the same way. It just gives you way better results.
It's basically, it needs intelligence. Like, and I'm just like, I've got two daughters. One's in a creative arts music space. The other one's been a successful sales leader. She was at Tesla, scaled their whole Northern California Powerwall business. Got Schneider Electric right now. I'm like, sat down with her, said, you need to be using this tool. So she's working on like marketing plans, go-to-market plans, and like, but you know how to feed it, you know how to prompt it right. And she's like, Dad, this is the most powerful thing I've ever seen. But there again, like, you have to understand the tool, know how to use it, know how to shape it, because even when I've like iterated on ideas, like it sounds like, oh my God, like this is the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, I want you to be constructive, be a partner. Where's this wrong? Because it's only going to basically can behave based on how you instruct it. So you want to blow smoke up your ass, it'll do that.
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta ask good questions.
Well, it's amazing. I think, like you said, it's the time is now. The opportunity is now. Don't sit back. Dive in.
What do you have to lose?
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, it's amazing.
Nothing.
Okay.
I feel like there's so
It's
much
pretty
more.
serious for you, though, isn't it?
Have we had some serious ones?
We've had serious shows
Jamie's
before,
with,
but I think that's
usually we drink heavy, but you get the serious
Well,
ones.
that's true. We're a little buzzed, but I love how we kind of went
Right?
into that AI.
Yeah, we kind of went really,
This is as sober as we've been, isn't
we
it?
went JV this time.
Very light.
I've been time when we were like varsity plus.
Neil, you and I are completely sober right now.
I know, it's crazy.
It's disgusting.
The band, we've got the Bandit over here. That's our new name, is the Bandit.
The Bandit.
The Bandit. Right? It's a company you work for.
Yeah.
You're the Bandit.
Le Bandit?
What did we accomplish on the show? What should we call this show we just had?
Day 3-1?
I like it. There we go.
PA31.
I gotta come up with. I'm excited about that project, so I want to get involved. LeBaron and I want to get involved.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
We want to create some content that just
Yeah.
blows people out of the
We
water.
love it.
You two feed off each other great. You should do that. I think that'd be awesome as far as your conversation
Well,
between
LeBaron
each other.
captured it.
You'll get involved?
There's so many amazing things that happen in this really small community, and we're a very community geographic location, and it's still insanely fragmented, and it's decentralized, and like there's just a massive opportunity to like, you know, you've got Facebook groups and this and that, and like I have lots of people with very diverse interests, like what's happening at Felton Music Hall, what's going on at Moe's Alley, and like the Witches Ball last Saturday at Brookdale, like literally, like, and you got to like hunt for all this stuff. It's all over the map, and it'd be nice to like share information, share knowledge, and use AI to do that. So
I told Jeanette that the first time they brought it up. I'm like, you got to get entertainment involved.
yeah,
And what's
and
going
cool companies
on
and cool
in the
opportunities,
community.
and like, but like you literally like, oh, I'm reading Good Times. I got to read the Sentinel, Santa Cruz Works, like UCSC. It's just massive. It's just fragmented like crazy.
And it's not. I mean, there's probably some political things underneath it, but I don't think a lot of it's fragmented on purpose as much as it's people are so into what they do versus being about themselves, which is cool. That's why they're so good at what they do. So we have these silos of excellence doing these amazing things, but if they're not talking to each other, some of those, if they were talking, what they could do as silos together is like crazy. We haven't touched it because they're not even talking to each other yet, and they're here.
That's crazy.
Boom.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
We-
Neil, what do we got next week?
A little different show next week, TJ.
Okay.
We have Amy, who comes every year with a Shameless Sex podcast. Makes you squirm.
She does. Okay, so we're gonna talk about sex next
Yeah,
week.
we're doing sex.
All right. All right.
I'll have to check
Tune
this
in,
out.
everybody.
We got
Neil's gonna open up about his sex life next
Not
week.
after.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God we're first.
Thank God. That'd be a brutal show to follow.
Jeff Clark coming on for his 50th anniversary of the first time he surfed Mavs.
That'll be awesome.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that'll be fantastic.
And we got the fire eating, the chick with the sword.
So
fire.
she puts a sword down her throat. That'll
Yeah,
be very
that-
interesting.
she's coming
Tune in,
on.
folks. That'll be.
And a bunch
Do
of
we have to
other
have like an ambulance here that night?
Or just a guy.
EMT?
I want him here with a bucket of water.
So the sword's on fire that she
Yeah.
puts down her throat?
We're going to try it.
I'm gonna make her sign a waiver.
ChatGPT that.
Yeah,
Gotta
I
start.
want you guys to do like the 3 or 4 school drum roll competition. We could like move these racks of stuff out
Oh,
there.
we've had
We've had
30
Drum, man.
35
Drum
musicians in
drum
here at one time
competition,
before.
Man, let's do
That'd be
it.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
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 I like drumming. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Great
Coming up.
choice. Well, great show, you guys. Thank you very much for coming in. Neil, as always, fun times here at the boardroom. Thank you, folks, for tuning in live here from the boardroom, the Off Lip Radio Show. We will see you next week. And until then, have a great time and be safe, everybody. Good night.